Welcome once again. This is Inside Out Experience, and I'm Jeremiah Owusu. We are talking about preparation for every power. Whenever you are given a power, you need to be prepared. It's very important. And last week, I was talking about 2 reasons why you need to be prepared. 2 reasons. The number one, I mentioned motive, your motive. The motive behind the power you exercise, why you do what you do. If the motive is not right, the power will turn from blessing the people and it become a kind of curse. If you are not really prepared, if your heart is not prepared, the blessing will turn from blessing the people or liberating them, setting them free. It will turn into rather enslaving the people. We discussed through this. The second reason why you need to be prepared with your power is what I'm about to talk about. That is effectiveness. Becoming effective with your power. You might have a power, all right, and yet it is not effective. And every power, every gift, every ability that God gives, God expects that it becomes effective, very effective. All right? The parable about talent. Jesus said when the great man returned and he called for accountability, those who pleased him, he responded by saying, "Good and faithful servant." All right, good and faithful servant. So the faithfulness has to do with you are prepared and you have a good and sincere and loyal heart. All right, and the good aspect is you are effective with your ability. And so he expects you not only having a right motive to exercise the power. No. He also expects you to be effective. And this is where I speak to every Christian. I speak to the body of Jesus Christ. Let us rise against mediocrity. And let us fight to be effective with our gift and with our ability and the power God has given to us. Okay? And being effective is about to have an effect on the ground with your power exactly as you do in your mind or in your spirit. I will explain. Having effect on the ground, that is physically, okay? Having effect on the ground with your power exactly as you do in your spirit. All right? So every ability, every power doesn't start physically, it starts spiritual or mentally or with imagination. And you see yourself doing something so powerful all by yourself inside your mind, within you. Some of you, within you, you find yourself standing before a large number of people and doing something extraordinary. It could be singing, it could be preaching, it could be, exercising some strange ability. And the thing is so effective, so much that the people are controlled, influenced, they are moved by you. And all this, you see it only within you. Now, effectiveness has to do with, as you see yourself doing it, the effect you are having in your mind, in your spirit, you are able to translate it on the ground. It means physically, you can make that same effect. And when that is done, it means now your ability is effective. It is powerful. All right? Joseph had a dream. That is, he saw himself even controlling the stars, the moon, and the sun. He saw within himself that he was being bowed unto. They are bowing, paying obeisance to him. over the years, through the process of time, being prepared, this man was able to make physical effect of what only existed within himself. And there are some of you that is seeing himself. You are seeing yourself all the time doing something, even the president. Some of you see yourself being needed by the president. But when you wake up, you are absolutely nobody. Now, if you are able to translate the thing you see inside you and what you do inside you, you can do it on the ground. Now the power, the ability, the gift is effective. I call upon you that whatever you can do, die within yourself. Prayerfully, die physically, work out to make sure that what you are doing that nobody sees will have physical effect. It becomes effective. Okay? It is very important. You work so hard. So hard. Now, the Bible says concerning David, 1 Samuel chapter 17, 34 to 36. The Bible says that he told King Saul that these Philistines will be nobody to me, because in the wilderness I could handle a bear and a lion. And this one will be no match to me. That means in an unseen place, he prepared himself. And then on the ground, he made effect. That power was effective, and he was able to kill Goliath that even the king was afraid of. And so if you are so prepared very well, what the president, the king, and great men are afraid of, you take it down. Why? Now you translate what is in the private into the public. And it is said, it is not what you do, publicly that makes you powerful, but what you do privately. So privately, if you can prepare yourself, in the public, you can make effect and people stand for you. Do you understand? And also, effectiveness means being purposeful with your power. If the power you exercise can achieve the purpose by which it is given to you, the reason that the power is given to you. Okay, so it is one thing to have a power and a passion, and it is another using it in a purpose. So if you are able to achieve a purpose or a mission with your power, it also means you are effective with the power, ability, the spiritual gift that is given to you. All right. You read about Samson. Samson was a man full of passion and full of power, but he was not in purpose until in Judges chapter 16, verse 28 to 30, he prayed to God that, Lord, let me now die with all these people. Let me kill every single soul, all these enemies. All right, there were about 5 lords who had come together and they were mocking him. And he prayed. And that was the first time this man prayed unto God. He prayed unto God because he was tormented in prison. He was apprehended and he was tortured for some time. So in that process, God prepared him. And the preparation, now he was purposeful with the power. All right? So he prayed that let me die with all these enemies of yours. And then that prayer he prayed, you go check Judges chapter 14 verse 4. You realize that it was the purpose of God concerning Samson. Where the Bible said that the parents of Samson were complaining that you are going for an uncircumcised woman, and it is against the law and all that. And the Bible says in Judges chapter 14 verse 4 that they didn't know the thing is of God. It is the will of God, so that he will seek an occasion to destroy the Philistines. So when he prayed that prayer, now he had been taken through a process to be prepared to now fulfill a purpose with his power. And so being effective is, number two, being purposeful with your ability. And you need to understand that a purposeful life is a precise activity. It is an exact activity. There's something particular you do with your power. There's something particular you want to achieve with your power. All right. So let me end here with some of the areas of our lives that God prepares us so that we become effective with our power. That has to do with our personality type. Most of the preparations go to our personality type. Okay, we are different in personality types. We call it temperament. Okay? And the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 11, that the Spirit of God distributes the gift, the power, whatsoever, as he wills, according to his will. So he can give it to anybody at all. But when he gives it to you, your personality type can prevent it for it to be effective. You know, for instance, if a gift is given to somebody with a phlegmatic personality type, that man must go through a lot of preparation. For instance, like Gideon. When Gideon was called, just before that, that man was described as timid because he mentioned it, that I am nobody in a family that is also the least. He was so much of self-consciousness. He was aware of his ineffectiveness. All right? He was aware of his incapabilities. And that is, that characterized phlegmatic nature. Phlegmatic, phlegmatic kind of personality type. All right? And see one of the things God instructed him to do. He said, go to your father's house and break down the idols. All right? It has been explained that he had to break the principality in the house, blah, 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 before God will use him. I agree. But on the other hand, God was giving him the opportunity to prepare his personality type, to do modification, to modify his personality type, because naturally he was, a timid man. And not until God works on his timidity, he cannot be used. All right? He cannot be used. And see how he went for a large number of people, and God reduced them to only 300. Why? So that the man will enter into the thing with boldness. It is either he flees or he fights. That was how God set him up. You are going to fight against thousands, hundreds of thousands of enemies. And God said you are going only with 300. So it is either you flee or you fight. And God set him up, and he had to fight. He had to come out of that timid personality and fight. So your personality type can prevent you, and there's no way you operate your gift and your power outside your personality type. And that is why your personality type must be worked upon. Moses, he was given the strong spirit, desire within his spirit to lead the children of Israel from the house of bondage. He quickly killed somebody because of his personality type. He was an angered person. And he killed somebody, and God threw him into the wilderness. God had to throw him into the wilderness for preparation so that the power will be effective. And you know what he did? He had to take care of the sheep. All right, to beat down his impulse. So that there will be a modification on his impulse. And so one of the areas God will work, in fact, the actual area is your personality type. Whatever you see in you, whenever you sleep, seeing yourself doing, and then physically you are still the same and it is not happening, there is something standing between the power of your gift you feel in your spirit and effectiveness. That is your personality type. So this is my area. I'll be organizing programs soon. I'll be available for counseling, raising people, all right? Training you and preparing you, because your gift must be effective, must be very powerful, must control people positively, must be a blessing unto people, and must bless you yourself. All right? And so I'll be available within next year. There will be a lot of programs. That is my calling, to raise people with great abilities. That is my area. That is my purpose in this life. And you hear of this very soon. I'll be available for counseling, and there will be a lot of programs, and God will use me to bless you. Okay? So this is it. The reason why God prepares you, because of the power He has given you, is for you to be effective. All right? So I end here. I will continue. Make sure you watch me on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I'm bringing something so deep, you know, when it comes to that same topic. Turning potentiality into potency. So catch me 8 p.m. this coming Wednesday. You'll be blessed. All right. So this is Jeremiah, and this is Inside Out Experience. God bless.